So what if a book was written specifically so it could never be read? I mean, imagine an author painstakingly crafting hundreds of pages, filling them with these vibrant colors and very deliberate text, only to lock all that meaning away behind an absolutely impenetrable wall of mystery?
Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're officially opening the dossier on file number 003, the Voynich Manuscript. I'm absolutely fascinated by this one because it really challenges everything we think we know about history, language, and human intellect. This isn't just some old, dusty book. It's a centuries-old locked door that literally continues to defy the greatest minds in the world.
Section 1. File opened. The discovery.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The story of this manuscript really begins with a massive chronological paradox. Modern carbon dating of the parchment tells us that this artifact was created in the early 15th century, somewhere around 1404 to 1438 AD. Yet it completely vanished from public knowledge for nearly 500 years. It wasn't until 1912 that a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich finally discovered it hiding away in a Jesuit college near Rome. Now, he was expecting a standard historical text, but instead, he found this deliberate, highly consistent script that was entirely unknown to anyone. And even today, well over a century after it was found, it remains completely unreadable.
Section 2. Exhibit A. The contents.
Because the text itself is totally unreadable, investigators have really had to rely on the bizarre visual clues left behind in the pages. Starting with the botanical section, the book is filled with hundreds of these incredibly detailed drawings of plants. But here's the catch. They don't actually match our reality. Some of them are basically Frankenstein plants, like literally combining the roots from one species, the leaves from another, and the flowers from a third to create these impossible hybrids. It is essentially an entire encyclopedia of imaginary flora.
Next up is the astronomical section. A ton of pages are completely filled with these complex, rotating circular diagrams featuring stars, constellations, and familiar zodiac wheels. Honestly, they look exactly like medieval maps of the heavens. But while we might recognize the stars, the text surrounding them just resists all logical comprehension. The author is clearly trying to communicate something important about the cosmos here, but the message is entirely locked away.
And then we arrive at the biological section. I just want to deliberately pause for a second to let the sheer weirdness of this imagery settle in. We see these softly drawn illustrations of naked women bathing in pools of flowing green liquid, and they're all connected by these incredibly complex pipe-like structures and tubes. What exactly are we looking at here? Ancient medicinal baths? Some kind of unknown symbolic ritual? Or is this just the world's most confusing medieval plumbing manual? Without the text, no one knows for sure.
Finally, we have the pharmaceutical section. Here, the pages are just packed with small plant parts, sitting right next to strange containers and ornate jars. To experts analyzing this, these closely resemble cryptic recipes or medicinal formulas. It's incredibly tantalizing to think about, right? Could these jars hold ancient, completely undiscovered medical cures? Or maybe highly toxic poisons just waiting to be translated?
Section 3. Exhibit B. 5 prevailing theories.
With physical evidence this baffling, experts have spent well over a century trying to build a solid profile of our unknown author. And it basically boils down to 5 major theories: a secret code, a lost language, an alchemist's notebook, knowledge ahead of its time, and an elaborate hoax. As an explainer of the facts, I'm definitely not here to take a side, but rather to walk you through why each of these theories holds so much weight in the investigative community.
So let's look at theories 1 and 2, a hidden cipher or a dead tongue. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that the strange script strictly follows the mathematical and structural patterns of natural human language. It definitely doesn't look like random gibberish. And this leads to 2 pretty incredible possibilities. Either this book is the single surviving record of a civilization whose language vanished centuries ago, or the author purposely hid forbidden knowledge inside an unbreakable cipher, and they're just waiting for someone with the exact right key.
Moving right along to theories 3 and 4, we have to examine the author's intent. Middle-aged alchemists routinely kept their discoveries hidden just to avoid severe persecution, so this could very well be an alchemist's personal notebook, with all their chemical formulas cleverly disguised as weird plants and plumbing. Alternatively, some people believe this is the work of a brilliant outcast, a genius possessing knowledge centuries ahead of the 15th century who is hiding their advanced discoveries from a society that simply wasn't ready for it yet.
And this debate really brilliantly illustrates the ultimate divide in Voynich research: the code versus the hoax. On one hand, you have the theory that this is a highly complex encryption hiding real, perhaps very dangerous knowledge. On the other hand, Theory 5 suggests it's all just an elaborate hoax, a totally meaningless trick filled with gibberish specifically designed to fool wealthy book collectors. But consider this for a second. Animal skin parchment was incredibly expensive and really difficult to make back in the 1400s. Would someone actually spend years and a literal small fortune producing such an intricate, mathematically consistent book merely for a practical joke? It's tough to say.
Section 4. Case status unsolved. Which brings us to the rather chilling current state of things. This quote really sums up the stark reality. Despite more than a century of intense scrutiny from the greatest minds on the planet, we're talking historians, military codebreakers, brilliant linguists, and now even modern supercomputers equipped with advanced AI, no explanation has stuck. None of it. It represents a total, humbling failure of modern technology and codebreaking. The book just flat out refuses to give up its secrets.
So what if its language has simply been forgotten? Or what if its secret was never actually meant to be discovered in the first place? More than 6 centuries later, the pages remain absolutely silent. Who is it waiting for? Is it waiting for the right person or maybe the right technology to finally read it? Well, until then, file number 003 remains classified and wide open.